Guys, this is for 30-year-old women who are Christian and still single. I'll start by saying this. I turned 30 last year. I'm going to be 31 this fall. I have never been asked out on a date in my life, and I mean that. Never. I've never been approached by a guy. I've never had a man show interest in me. And I would never have admitted to that a couple years ago. I was ashamed and embarrassed about that. I was like, oh, it's because I'm stupid maybe, or, I'm not attractive, or all these things. Like, I thought it was a deficiency in me. But I have been hearing from other women the exact same thing, especially Christian women, where it's like, no one, I'm 27, I'm 28, I've never been asked out. And so I think there's a problem on both sides. I think that women get blamed a lot, where people will say, you whored yourself in your 20s, and, you cared about your career and you did all these things to keep men away from you. And I think I never did any of that stuff. And I know a lot of other women who didn't do that stuff. And they're just, men aren't asking women out maybe? I don't know.
Women killed the vibe themselves. That's why no man bothers approaching anymore. Men are done risking rejection, public shaming, or false accusations just to say hello. If you actually want attention, drop the attitude and try a smile or a simple invite. Until then, enjoy the silence you created. The ball's in your court, but don't be shocked when no one's playing.
So why do men no longer come up to women? I asked this in a TikTok last week, and it got so many comments, especially from men. And I just want to preface this with, this was no shade to men. This post was no shade to men, and neither is this one. I was just genuinely curious and asking. I love men. I think they're awesome, and I think that they're a little confused right now. But most of their responses said something like, we were told not to go up to you guys, and we were told that you want to be left alone, and you just want your own space, and you don't want us approaching you. Which for some women, that can absolutely be true, but I love meeting people in person, and I just think that it takes a confident person to go up to someone when you see them in person, and I think it's a really cool way to meet people rather than meeting people online. Men were also saying things like they were called creeps and weirdos, and they don't want to be called that. It's not a pleasant experience. But I will say that it has to do with how you approach a woman. Like, for example, myself and my friends have had men come up to us with a really, really intense energy, like a very in-your-face energy, and they're really nervous and they're kind of scattered and they're very pushy or weird, and their energy is just off. And one of the most attractive things to a woman is emotional intelligence, and that shows within like the first few seconds of meeting someone when they introduce themselves to you. So if you're gonna go up to a woman, just like take a calm, deep breath. If you see a woman working on her laptop or something at a cafe, you can go up to her and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I thought you were really beautiful and you seem interesting. I would love to get to know you more if you're interested, and then slipping her your number on a napkin or something, Like, just coming up to women with a calm energy and not giving off this like needy energy or this like pushy energy. I think that is what women don't like. I think it's really sweet and cute to be approached in person, and I know that there's a lot of women like me. There's probably some women out there who don't want to be approached, and that's fine, and it's hard to tell who's who. But I think you can tell when you go up to a girl kind of right away if she'd be interested or not based on her body language, and just be calm and natural and don't overthink it. I know that's easier said than done. I've only gone up to a man once in my whole life, but I think that might help. I don't know. I think I'm just someone who's very interested in people interacting with each other and having experiences and building community. And I think the world is growing more and more introverted, and people are on their phones more. And I just think it's beautiful to meet people out and in person. And I just don't want to lose that as a humanity.
Knew she was going to say it's men's fault. Women created this mess. Years of calling men creeps, rejecting them harshly, and screaming, "Leave us alone," trained men to stop approaching. Now they sit around confused. pretending they love meeting people in person after killing that very dynamic. Men aren't risking their peace or reputation for a compliment anymore. You wanted independence and space. You got it. Don't cry now that the silence feels lonely.
Why are men not confident enough to walk up to women now? Say shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women. The masculinity on earth has diminished drastically that guys don't even come up to you anymore. They'll just stare at you from a distance. As a woman who's trying to embody her feminine energy, you're not going to catch me going up to the guy. You're just not. We can just stare at each other. Say shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women, because guys don't do that anymore. If God were to guarantee that your 20th person would be the love of your life, you would be so happy to be rejected by all 19. So why are men not confident enough to walk up to women now? We don't chase. We signal like, you can come up to me now. But all men do is just look at you now. And of course, like, if the woman is interested, she's gonna keep looking your way too, but it just like stays like that. Nothing ever happens because men don't walk up to women anymore, or they're just tired of being rejected. But it's like, if God were to tell you that you're gonna go through 20 rejections before you get to your yes, and that's gonna be the love of your life, you guys would be so happy to go through all 20 because you would just be so closer to the love of your life. Come on, guys, you guys gotta do better.
Oh, right. Weren't we the creeps for daring to approach? But now suddenly men are weak for not chasing you? The reality is men are done catering to women who shift the rules whenever it suits them. Why risk rejection, humiliation, or false labels just to feed your ego? You wanted independence, you got it. Don't expect men to dance for scraps of validation anymore.
Guys do not approach you at the bar not because you're not pretty, but it's because of this. I've been going to the bars every weekend with my friends, maybe for the past couple months, and I love it. I love socializing, and I'm single. And my friend and I were talking at the bar the other weekend, and we were talking about how we've never been approached by a single guy before. Like, maybe ever, which is just insane to think about. Like, I can name a couple occurrences where they have, but it was like people from Europe, and they're like a different breed of people, okay? So I feel like the culture in America is way different. Guys do not want to approach you, not because of how pretty you are or how you look, but it's really because they're scared of you. And then us women over here who are single are thinking like, we look amazing, we did our makeup, we chose the perfect outfit. Why aren't all these guys coming up to us? Even if we're not into them, why don't they just come up just to like make us feel good about ourselves? Okay, now I want you to think of the perspective of a guy. I'll never know what's in a man's head, but I have a pretty good idea from like my guy friends and going out a lot. Guys are intimidated by you, okay? They don't all have that courage or charisma or just bravery to go up to you like you have to somebody else. And on top of just being intimidated by going up to a stranger in general, you're probably surrounded by a big group of friends. And even worse if you're surrounded by your guy friends, because they're gonna assume that you're dating one of them, and no one wants to go up to a girl who's surrounded by a bunch of guys, okay? It's just a cock block. So now you're probably thinking, okay, we have this information, but what do we do with it? First off, I don't really think bars are the best place to really find a relationship. It's great to meet people, have fun, really get to know other people. But if you're putting all your eggs in one basket and really putting so much pressure on finding a guy that will take you seriously, that's going to be very hard. The other thing is that we always make fun of dating apps a lot, but I think the percentage is something like 60% of people now meet their significant other on the internet. Because people don't go up to other people anymore because they know they can meet you on a dating app. It's so much easier. This past Saturday, I literally went up to a group of guys and was like, do you want to play cards? I wasn't attracted to any of them, but I'm so happy I did it because I made a new group of friends and it was so much fun. And initially I thought that they weren't that fun. Like, they just seemed like they were like moping around. They all had RBFs, like whatever, and I went up to them and they ended up being the funniest group of guys ever. And I'm sure a lot of guys think of you that way too. You might have like an RBF, or just you don't seem approachable, but little do they know how you really are. So the takeaway from this video is that guys not coming up to you out in public says nothing about you. You can literally be like Gigi Hadid and a guy's still not going to come up to you. Guys are intimidated, and it takes so much courage to go up to a girl. And a lot of guys are cheap and just don't want to buy you a drink, and they're scared of getting used for a drink, which kind of sucks, but I understand. So do not weigh your worth and whether or not people come up to you, because you are probably way more stunning and people are probably way more attracted to you than you think they are.
She can spin all the theories she wants. Intimidation, RBF, bar culture, group dynamics. But the truth is, men are just done. Done risking rejection, done being labeled creeps, done spending money just to be dismissed. Modern dating taught men that effort isn't valued, so why bother? If attention is all you're after, don't confuse silence with fear. It's just disinterest.
Why men don't approach women anymore. So historically, women have always waited for men to make the first move. Is he going to go in for the kiss? Is he going to hold my hand? But now, whenever I talk to my friends about their dating history, all I hear them talking about is, oh, he hasn't made a move. He's not doing anything. We're not moving forward. So on the flip side of this normally ends up in men feeling like they're getting ghosted, or that there's just being told there's no spark. And from what I'm hearing from a lot of my clients, it's not because that you're not attracted to her. It's more about fearing that you're either going to get rejected, maybe you're going to get turned down, slapped in the face when you go for that first move, or even worse, like getting in trouble with the law. So you need to ask yourself, does this sound like you? The truth is, you probably missed that golden opportunity to create that spark. And she likely was giving you signals that you just didn't quite catch.
Yeah, it's 2025 and men just don't play that game anymore. Missing signals isn't the problem. It's the fact that the rules keep changing. One move too soon, he's pushy. One move too late, he's weak. Guys are tired of walking that minefield. The spark you're waiting on isn't worth the risk of being branded wrong. So, no, we don't do that anymore.
What's up with men? I don't know. I wanted to ask you, men don't come up and ask or talk to you anymore. There was this cute guy. He went to the bar at one point, so I was like, oh, let me go to the bar too. So I saddled up next to him at the bar and kind of gave a look, and he looked right at me and then looked away. I was like, okay, well, never mind. I was seeing something that apparently wasn't actually happening. And as we left, one of the other bachelorettes on this trip was like, oh my gosh, that guy kept looking at you. Did you guys talk? I was like, wait, what? You saw it too? I guess I could have said, hi, how are you? I don't know why I didn't. I guess I was like, I made that move. Meet me the other 75% of the way or whatever it is.
It is becoming like that. I think that there's a shift in it. And honestly, women have to take more of the reins in a way.
That's a valid question, and I'm able to answer that for you. All right. The reason why that is happening is because there's a lot of risk for men to approach women. Okay, risk number one. Remember what happened in the Me Too movement? There's a lot of women that called out a lot of men for their behavior that was really... well, they needed to be called out, rightfully so. But what happened is that a lot of men that were not creepy or didn't have any creepy intentions were being called out as well. And the worst thing that you don't want to be called creep as a man, right? So what happened is that, we don't approach people. That's it. Well, just don't be a creep. That does not necessarily depend on what I do, right? This also depends on how you feel. Peep game. Remember 50 Shades of Grey, right? Christian Grey was Christian Grey just because he was good looking, had money, and the lady was attracted to him. If he didn't have money, if she was not attracted to him, he would be in jail, okay? We know that. That's a fact. But if Christian Grey is the way that he looks, with the little gray eyes and everything and stuff, woman fantasy. How do I know if I'm a Christian Grey of someone? You know what I mean? I don't have to go to that extent, but there's a risk. And there's also a lot of people are saying, well, what's the worst thing that you can say? The worst thing that you can say is no, that's not true. The worst thing that you can say is ew. And I know it happened to me, but that's besides the point, right? So, I think the dynamics has changed. If you want to be more independent, if you want to have emancipation, right? Well, it comes with that. It comes with you having to do the work, you having to approach now. You know what I mean? The reason why men was approaching is that women couldn't be seen as too promiscuous. So they had to not approach. It was the men doing the approaching. You understand what I'm saying? And that changed. You guys are emancipated now. If you want to have this conversation, I can have this conversation and show you some man insight. I'd be more than willing to do so. And for the people watching this, tell us what you think. What you think happened, and which ladies do you want to approach?
2015. Don't talk to us. We're here for the girls, only 2025. Why won't men approach us? Where are all the confident guys? Funny how the rules flip when the attention dries up. Men listened, and now you're mad about it.
What's up with men? I don't know. I wanted to ask you. Men don't come up and ask or talk to you anymore.
Maybe we should have a man on and ask him what that's like. Why don't they do that?
A dating expert.
Is there a dating expert man that would like to come on this podcast?
Now, I'm definitely no dating expert, but my name's J.R. Harvey, and I specialize in human behavior and psychology. And if you want to know the real truth about what is going on here, it's because approaching women in 2025 is treated more like a crime scene than it is a compliment. You see, men used to be rewarded for their courage. You saw someone you liked, you walked up and said hello, and the worst thing that could ever happen is that you got rejected and moved on. But today, that same move will get a man labeled as creepy or even accused of harassment. And it doesn't stop there, because one awkward moment could be filmed, posted, go viral, and ruin a man's life. Guys just aren't risking rejection anymore. They're risking their reputation as a person. And another point is that the rules to the game no longer make sense to them either, because culture is saying, be bold, be confident. But then it's also saying, but don't approach her if it makes her uncomfortable, unless you're clearly invited. Which, who the hell knows what that means anymore, because a look isn't good enough. It's not obvious enough anymore when it comes to the risks that are involved. When the rules to the game are unclear or confusing or constantly changing, that is very frustrating for guys, and it makes them just not want to play anymore. And here's the reality: men adapt. When culture is punishing risk-taking, they stop taking risks. They retreat into the gym, into their work, into their video games, anywhere where they're not going to risk being shamed for simply showing interest. So when women ask, why don't men approach me anymore? It's not that men don't care or they're not interested. It's that both men and women are stuck in a culture of fear and confusion. The truth is, most men want to be brave and most women want to be pursued. But until the rules change, both sides are losing.
Men stopped approaching not because they're weak, but because the game isn't worth playing anymore. One wrong move, and he's branded creepy, filmed, and canceled for life. Over a hello. The rules keep changing to suit women's moods, leaving men set up to fail no matter what. So instead of risking their reputation, they've checked out and built lives without you. The brutal truth: you broke the game, and now you're mad nobody wants to play.
Why men never approach women anymore?
I think we live in a society where men are torn down for small things, and they're scared to shoot their shot, and it's sad to see. They oftentimes bog themselves down before they even get a chance, In this society, looks come first and heart comes second. It's only gonna get worse unless a change is made, until people start making things online for men to really regain that confidence back.
What can girls do these days to make guys approach them more?
Smile more and really think about the things that you're saying to these guys to make them feel that way. Don't say things like, you're too short, because that really does things to guys' ego. It's harmful.
You ever seen a girl reject a guy and scarred him?
I sadly have. At bars and stuff, people just say ew and turn around, and you can look at the guy in the eyes and they look really sad after, and just overall it's a bad time.
If a man ever walked up to a woman and she got hit with an ew, the internet would explode with sympathy, hashtags, and think pieces about misogyny and emotional abuse. But when it's men, nobody cares. They're mocked, dismissed, and told to man up. That double standard is exactly why guys stopped bothering. You can only humiliate people so long before they stop showing up. Truth is, women wouldn't survive a taste of their own cruelty.
The difference is with men, is we're supposed to be the leaders. We gotta put you guys in your fucking place. Because women don't know how to behave, you guys are out of control. Honestly, and that's a big reason actually that went to my topic. Women aren't getting approached anymore. And you guys wonder why? Because you guys are fucking rude. And women don't respect men anymore. That's what it really is. That's why so many guys don't go up to y'all no more, because damn, she's probably gonna fucking talk shit to me. Or damn, she's gonna reject me rude there. Damn, she's gonna say, get out of my face or some shit like that. The real question is, are women worthy of approaching anymore? I would argue most of you guys aren't.
Also, let's say they get past
the first initial introduction and they meet you, you're rude to them, they'll smash you and leave right away.
And then women wonder why all of you guys are overwhelmingly fucking single. You guys don't know how to behave.
Yeah, they're gonna leave for sure.
Nobody wants to risk being clowned, filmed, or insulted just for saying hello. And honestly, a lot of women proved they aren't worth the effort anymore. Why invest in someone who greets interest with attitude? Now men just smash, ghost, and move on because the respect is gone on both sides. That's not leadership. That's survival.
Okay, this is a serious question for the guys. I have this conversation with my female friends, I think, like, I'm not even kidding, once a week. So I'm just curious what the real reasoning is behind it. But most of my girlfriends say that whenever they're out, they never get approached by guys, ever. And maybe like one girl in the friend group who does get approached, it's not like she's a total standout from the group. But for some reason, like a specific girl might just like get hit on a lot. I don't know. But not even in a biased way. I think that some of my friends are very, very beautiful. Like, actually, I'm not just saying that to be nice. So it makes me really curious as to why guys don't go up to them. Is it like, one, even if you see an attractive girl, like you're just hanging out with your friends, you don't really care. Two, you're just simply not attracted to her. Three, maybe you like think she's just like in a relationship, or like she's just super standoffish and like bitchy looking, or like in general you just like don't want to deal with any type of rejection. Like, is it the guy's point of view, or is it just like the girls are putting out this weird vibe, or like just guys don't find them attractive? I don't know. But most of my friends like want to meet guys in person, but then they go out and just like nothing really happens. So what is it?
World War III is more attractive than today's modern women. The risk isn't worth the headache. Between rude rejections, cock-blocking friends, and the fear of being blasted online, guys would rather just chill with their boys. Your beautiful friends don't matter when they all look like carbon copies of Instagram clones with bad attitudes. Men aren't scared. They're just done wasting energy. If you can't even smile or signal interest, then yeah, go buy a dog and enjoy the silence.
Okay, here are some of my theories why men don't approach women in public. Okay, number one, I think they have had a super horrible, traumatic experience with like literally one woman. Like one woman really did them so dirty that traumatized them moving forward. Like they can't even move forward because they're still so hurt from the past one experience that they're moving from a place of hurt and not from like a healed perspective. Two, men have a very sensitive ego. And they rather protect that ego from it getting bruised just a little bit, just simply by a rejection from a woman, than to actually go and pursue something. Okay, and third point. Men have it way too easy now with all the dating apps and Instagram and sliding into someone's DMs. Like, why would they want to do that in public when they can just choose the easy way out and do it through social media behind a screen?
Women can spin all the theories they want about men being traumatized or sensitive, but the brutal truth is, men are just done playing a game where the rules change every second, and the risk of public humiliation is too high. Approaching in person isn't worth it anymore.
Mainly because we see it online all the time. If like a woman gets approached and she doesn't want to, about how she hates it, or the guy, comes across as a creep. And most guys are just terrified of coming across as a creep.
Yeah.
Right? But then at the same time, they don't know if you find them attractive unless they shoot their shot. But if they get it wrong,
they don't want to be rejected these days.
I think guys can accept the risk of rejection, but I think the consequence of being rejected by a girl who really takes it the wrong way is too high.
That's fair.
Okay. I have some thoughts about why I don't think men approach women, specifically in New York City. Maybe I can generalize to all metropolitan cities in general. This is coming from a girl who has been in a long-term relationship for over 5 years. So if that triggers you, please scroll, because fair, I don't have like actual in the field experience with this. But I have noticed this with all my friends who are majority single in New York. And when I go out with them, even large groups of women, which I know are very intimidating. I wouldn't approach a large group of women either. And also small groups of women, like I'm talking like 2 or 3 girls, where it's a more approachable number of women. Why I think this is not happening as often as we would like or historically is because I think women just have more autonomy now. I believe like back in the 1900s, 1800s, women couldn't own land, couldn't vote, didn't even think they could ever have a career. That never crossed their minds. They were trad wives living at home, supporting their husband, raising children, birthing children. Yes, of course, like many women still do that, and as they should and are, it's totally fine. But a reason why I don't think men are approaching women these days is because we're equaling the playing field. We have careers. We are basically attaining what men also want, which is success. Many are businesswomen. Sometimes we can make more than men. You know, these things are happening. It's real. We aren't just spending time at home. We aren't just focusing on getting married and raising children. And specifically in New York City and metropolitan cities, it's just like there's a larger population of women who aren't as focused as being a stay-at-home wife as maybe somewhere, another city. Therefore, when man and woman enter a bar, man probably doesn't feel like a woman is as accessible to them. And this could be a total generalization. So, I mean, please don't like be mean, but I really do believe men are mostly intimidated by women because women have more autonomy now. And I'm not pro-feminist. I'm not like, raw, we hate men. I really just do believe the playing fields are equal. And I also put the pressure on women too. I'm like, I think we should be going up to men. Like, if it really is, if those of you who are complaining that men are not approaching you, like, yes, I don't really believe chivalry is dead, but it's really dwindling. I think you guys should take it upon yourself to approach men as well. I think being your true and most authentic form of yourself is the most important way to attract a man that is compatible to you. Always be yourself. But number 2, I really do think men like confident women. And also, if you're attracted to a woman that's confident, like, you guys are going to find each other if a woman's approaching you. So all this to say is I don't think men are approaching women in New York City and other cities because we're equals. And I think they're intimidated. And also everybody fears rejection, but rejection is probably more feasible these days because we got our own bags.
Men are constantly told on social media to not approach or bother women in public. A lot of men don't want to be accused of being a creep or accused of harassing her by attempting to talk to her. So instead, a lot of men just choose peace instead and don't approach anymore. Women unintentionally filtered out the very men they want going up to them. The tall white guys with a future, a career, something to lose, are staying away. The creeps never cared about boundaries, so they will continue to approach.
These pickup artist dating coaches, they're not really doing their clients any service because, like, you know, talking to me, like, I'm not saying I'm the hottest girl in the world, but, like, he should go up to someone that would want him to approach him. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're just learning to accept rejection, or I don't know if it was, but I was kind of, why me? Like, why did it have to come to me? Go to women that want you to approach them. Like, think about who wants this. It's not me.
I never really understand hating on someone that is trying to go outside their comfort zone, whether it's a man or a woman. They're doing something that makes them nervous. That is an impact that I would never want to give a man, no matter how far out of his league I thought I was. Because honestly, to think that you're outside anyone's league is kind of gross.
Quick question, how are we supposed to magically know women want to be approached? The only reason why she's complaining is because the guys that approached her were unattractive in her eyes.
Currently on the planet, there is no one with more audacity and gall and confidence than the men right now. I'm telling you, they need to package it up and sell that. That would save the economy. Because 2 instances this week that are mind-blowing for me. One, because they just happened like back to back, but I'm like, y'all are actually insane. One, this man, I'm walking to a Nordstrom, you gotta cross the street from the parking lot, whatever, go in, there's a bunch of different stores over there, yada yada. He apparently sees me walk across the street and then hurry up, parks his car and goes looking for me. I'm already in the store minding my business, trying on a shoe. He comes in, panting, out of breath, da da da. He's like, oh my God, I found you. I'm like, wait, what the? I'm already barefoot trying on my shoe. And he's like, I found you. And I'm like, you found who? Who? I don't know you. And he's like, I went to the other store, and then I went to this other store looking for you, and I finally found you. Who are you? And he's like, you were just so pretty. I saw you walking, so I just went looking for you. I had to find you. What? And he's like, yeah, can I take you out? Can I get your number? Is that not insane? I would literally think, no, you scaring the hoes. Like, no, like, that's scary. Why would somebody want to, like, what? And I'm just like, oh. So I'm like, I always have to give my number because men are insane. Like, they will call you right there to make sure you gave them the right number, like all these type of things. And I'm just not trying to die off of a number. Okay, I'll give you my number and block you as soon as I'm in a safe area. So that's just insane. So let me know if y'all thought that was insane, or if that was just, I don't know, I guess chivalrous, or like.
So wait a minute. Because honestly, I thought that this was going in a different direction. I thought that she was going to say that men wasn't checking for her, or somehow men didn't no longer approached or anything like that, because I'm getting two different types of videos as being sent to me. I didn't know what this video was going to say, but the first type of videos that I'm seeing is women that are begging, losing their minds over the idea that men are no longer approaching. When they go into spots, they only party with each other. If you give them a choosing signal, then sometimes they'll speak, but they gonna have to start shooting their own shot. As far as the women having to shoot their shot at the men, that they just have too much confidence, all of this other stuff. But then you got this woman right here that's basically saying that it's scary and you're scaring the hoes because a guy is going out of his way to actually try to approach you and respectfully ask you, could he take you out? And she didn't say that he said anything crazy. She just said that it was scary. I'm confused.
I'll translate that. She didn't find him attractive, so he was scary. Confidence has nothing to do with it. This video is just saying she didn't find him attractive. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.